very happy to share with you the strategy that CENAM is working on in terms of digital transformation, and also what kind of projects at CENAM we have, in which projects we are working right now, and what we have done also. So I think it's very interesting because everything what we do at CENAM is an inspiration of what is happening outside of CENAM around the world. So I think you are going to find that many things that we are doing now are the answer of what at the community, the meteorological community are doing in their own national meteorology institutes, and also the organizations that are working on meteorology also. So this presentation is digitalization strategy at CENAM with emphasis on sensor networks, as Hugo said. And now I'm going to begin the presentation. So you are going to see a small introduction. Also, you are going to see the digital transformation strategy at CENAM. You are going to find this strategy now, right now is in Spanish. Sorry for that, but I'm going to present you a brief summary of this effort. But if you want to download the Spanish version, you can do it. I am seeing here that we have the presence of so many colleagues at CIM, so I'm happy to know that you are here and you are going to see maybe your work. But and then we are going to talk about some projects that one project that we have done at CIM, and one project that we are working right now, and we are going to have some outputs and some deliveries at the end of this year. But I think it's very interesting because I'm going to present you more or less the evolution of the things, the knowledge that we have done from 2020 to our days, in terms that maybe we have done so many activities, so many efforts that led us to participate in this kind of sensor networks projects. So continuing with the explanation, and a small introduction is that at CENAM, the digital transformation strategy aims to establish a comprehensive framework for the digitalization in metrology, fostering international cooperation and alignment with global digital services. This initiative is part of the CABUREC Global Program 2024-2025. So many countries was working on that CABUREC Global Program. We share our developments in terms of digital transformation, and we know from other institutes how they were working on that digital transformation strategy. But here we focus on the capacity building in technical and scientific organizations to ensure an efficient transformation, and this strategy incorporates cutting-edge technology, automation, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, and knowledge management. The initiative aligns with international methodology standards and the guidance of the digital transformation infrastructure. This is very important because, as I said at the beginning, the effort that we have done was aligned with the awareness of what are they doing at the outside of CENAM, and we saw that every action that we have done in terms of digital transformation was because we saw the trends, we saw the effort that in the metrology community was working on, and at CENAM we were very close to that activities and efforts in order to be prepared at Mexico and at CENAM, to be prepared to collaborate and to present also the tools, necessary tools in order to implement and develop digital transformation in our region also. So that's the main focus of the digital transformation effort. Now I am going to continue. So the objective of this digital transformation strategy framework is in order to have and enable the infrastructure capable of connecting to international digital services and offer new digital products and services to customers and stakeholders, always aligned with the digital quality infrastructure through the digitalization of information, and also following the FAIR principles. This is a good practice that we are implementing, and we are also trying to spread with our stakeholders to have this fair criteria, and you know that you know this kind of a strategy, but the main focus is to enable new digital services and follow the services that are available right now. For example, from KCDB, we can see online the measurement capabilities of the laboratory, so we can match with that database and declare our capacity in online, right? So we can give this tool to our stakeholders, and they can use it in their products and services. So I think it's a very good way in order to automatize the process and to have better and reliable process in terms of metrology applications. So the digital transformation strategy at CENAM is you can see it in 8 different efforts. Now we call it objectives, strategic objectives. Sorry, and we have the first one is digitalization of information, and as you can see, it's we are aligned to FAIR, right? So digitalization of information in FAIR criteria. So this is the way how at CENAM how we are going to digitalize, or for example, how the laboratories can produce digital information, and how is the best way, the good practice in order to bring this digital information to feed the different process in the value chain. The second one, let me tell you that for this activity, our colleague Carlos Galvan is the responsible here at CENAM. It's important to say the names, because this work was very important at CENAM, and some of us that we are responsible for some of these objectives. It's important to let you know that we have been working on that from many years. So now the second objective is process digitalization, and this how from every process of the value chain is interconnected. How they take advantage of this information, how they are going to consume this digital information, how they are going to share this digital information, how we are going to present this information. So the process, right, of digitalization. So this is the effort of our colleague Jose Armando, and also in this objective, we are taking care about how to create also new services, taking into account the proper process of digitalization. Now we have the objective 3, this digitalization in the transfer of digital knowledge. And this is very important also. Every objective is very important and have their own objective, because how we are going to share the information, how we are going to spread the culturization of the digital transformation, how we are going to impact to our stakeholders, producing lectures and presentations that shows the benefits of the digital transformation. So this is the access point to our stakeholders in order to have information in terms of digital transformation. And this is very important because we are producing digital tools. We are going to share metrological knowledge, digital, and how we are going to share methodological knowledge to our stakeholders. Now, we're going to talk about objective 4. This is for measurement automation. For the objective 3, our colleague Cesar Alonso is the responsible of that effort. For the measurement automation, I am the responsible. So we're taking care about how to manage the different levels of the different readiness levels of the laboratories in order to bring at CENAM the same level, because as you know, there are so many challenges in order to have the laboratories with the same level of readiness level in terms of technology. And now in digitalization, our goal is to have zero writing hand measurements. We want to have all our laboratories with the digital data, that we want to the data born digital. So we are developing some necessary tools to the laboratories to have to avoid to write information by hand and then following the next process to type the information and so on. So this is our main goal right now for short terms. We want to have the old CENAM digitalized, that the information or data born digital. So we are working on that, and also we are having a scope of which kind of developments are developed. Sorry for the word, but which kind of projects have been done at CENAM, and then to share to the community at CENAM also, in order to share maybe some developments, transversal developments, maybe development of software, maybe development of hardware, and see if other areas are interested to take this development. Maybe for example, one laboratory develop a software in order to communicate with some specific brand of data acquisition boards, and many of the CENAM laboratories are working with that kind of hardware. So we saw that because we have the same hardware, we are interested in order to have this software to maybe to automatize some process at the calibration process. So I'm going to follow to show you an example further in this presentation. And now the objective 5 is digital legal metrology. This is very important for us because we want to have to give digital accreditation and oversight, digital inspection and field verification, maybe digital certification and marks, and digital testing of calibration data. This is a very important thing that we are developing here at CENAM, and our colleague Andrés Conejo is the responsible. For objective 6, cybersecurity, also it's a very transversal effort because it's important that every development, everything that we are going to develop or to share or to manage, it must be confidential, must be resilience in order to be prepared for every vulnerability, to have a proper user access and services, to identify and access, manage, control, and the most important, balance the protection, right, for the data. So this effort is represented by our colleague Francisco Flamenco at CENAM. The objective 7 is national time network. So we saw that in Mexico it's very important to have the sovereignty, and we are thinking that if we don't push this in our country, we are not going to have the proper management of risks in order of sovereignty. And to have this, we need to work more and more. And this is very important to have precision and signal distribution, to have more national master clocks in the country, and how the effort of how we are going to synchronize, right, this kind of new infrastructure that we are pushing. And this is the responsible of this, our colleague Carlos. Carlos is the responsible of this effort. And finally, the objective number 8 is artificial intelligence in metrology. So in that effort, we are working on how to develop the necessary tools in order to implement artificial intelligence in some process of the metrological activities. For example, to enhance calibration, to have real-time analysis, data quality and model management, and predictive maintenance. And this effort is led by our colleague Alexis Garcia. And all of these objectives are being coordinated by Luis Omar. So I appreciate that all of our colleagues are working very hard in order to be ready and to develop some of these objectives. Now, how we are going to implement this plan? As I mentioned, this plan born in this way that I am showing you from the covered project. But I'm going to show you how we plan. We have this first block of activity that is planning and evaluation to look what kind of infrastructure we have, what are the needs, the assessment, and then to develop and integration, the digital platforms that we have, how to optimize these digital platforms, how we are going to plan a proper way to automation, to share the knowledge to more and more different laboratories, how to enable the cybersecurity framework, Then develop and training how we are going to train our colleagues, right? Because some of these efforts are going to are with some colleagues, but they are not the whole CENAM, right? So we need to train, we need to share the knowledge to more and more colleagues at CENAM in order to have cover the colleagues that are working at CENAM and have them to have the same level of every laboratory and in terms of how we are going and how we are working the transformation to develop a pilot testing and also AI application that these developments can be shared and can be also in transversal way how they can apply this kind of knowledge. And then evaluation and continuous improvement to perform monitoring, to have feedback, to have international collaboration. That's why we are here, because we want to share that maybe we can collaborate with other NMIs, with other organizations in terms that we are ready and we want to share the knowledge and experiences that we have with some other stakeholders. And now, as I am from measurement automation, I want to let you know how we can work in this kind of sensor network projects and how we have the knowledge, because this was a plan evolution of how we are going and how we knew about sensor networks. This everything born in our laboratories because we know the best practice and the good practice in how to measure, right? How to measure inside of laboratories. But we want also to share the best practice outside the laboratories. And sensor networks can be developed inside laboratories or outside laboratories. So we have done in both how to apply the best practice in measuring inside the laboratories and how to do it outside with all the challenges that we have there. But we are going further because sometimes not only we not only know how to share the good practice in measurement, we also develop software and hardware in order to have measurement system that we have developed inside of the laboratories to measure outside. I'm going to show you an example of this. But as I mentioned, the automation measurement automation objective has inside this scope these objectives also. So the automation strategy is to take care about these five objectives. First of all, digital data collection, how the laboratories are collecting their data. So that's why we are focused now in this first level, because we want to, as I mentioned previously, we want to every laboratory have the same level, and we don't want that any laboratory at CENAM take measurements by hand. We want to avoid this, and we are preparing the necessary tools in open source, always in open source, to have fair principles and share it with other laboratories. I'm going to present you which kind of activities we will have done in order to have this digital data collection and how to prepare to different laboratories to have the same level of how to have born the data in digital way. Then if we have digitalized the data collection, We are going to work in integration of measurement elements. We have different elements in the calibration chain, maybe, and we need to have this integration in the different components of the measurement chain in order to have automation. Then we are going to have automation in information process. In this way, we can not only interconnect the different elements, right? A multimeter, an oscilloscope, a digital frequency counter. Not only that, also the information that we are having, how to put it in a automated process. So that's the focus of automation in information processing. Then we have now the instruments, we have the data digitalized, we have the process automated, and now we are going to work on how to develop a DCC digital calibration certificate in order to prepare to the next level. How we're going to share this information to the other stakeholders. Right now, we have done inside CENAM, to different laboratories are working with DCCs, and they share with different laboratories inside of CENAM. But now we have almost two stakeholders that are interested in order in this year to have this DCC, and they are going to work with us in order to implement the DCC in their laboratory. So we make that transfer knowledge to other industry. And then when we have the previous thing, we are going to be enabled to power automation with AI. So we were working some aspects in that way. Right now we are validating some of them, but this is the objectives inside of automation strategy. And if you can see at the right side, we have different levels. These levels are intended to show you if this is at the low level, is because most of the activities in the process are done by humans. And if you go to the first row for full automation, is because we don't have any human interaction. So that's why we are relating that for these different objectives, we are going to have different level of automation. Okay, I am going to go faster because I think I'm taking out of time. But at CENAM, as I told you, we made an investigation of different projects inside of the laboratories, how they can share the knowledge or the developments inside of their inside of CENAM. And this is an example how, for example, the different directions at CENAM, for example, electrical, mechanical, the different areas, different laboratories, the systems that are developing the project, that is the name of that effort, the objective, the methodologies, and how they attend different level of automation. So, for an example, our colleagues of mechanical mass and density, they have automated the calibration process, because they have also at the final stage the DCC generation. So they are working on DCC firmware, right? So you can see we have selected different projects, and we established the level of automation, and this is very easy to share with different colleagues at inside of CENAM. And here are some of the projects that we have done in order to improve the data acquisition and how to make the data born in digital way. So this is OCR, right? This is not a very difficult thing, but this is why we want to share it, because this is not very difficult for some laboratories that have the equipment that is not very new, pretty new. So they need to take the data in the screens, so they can digitalize that, right? So this is a strategy. This is more than the development. This is how we are applying the strategy to different laboratories, right? So to have the born digital data, a single validated data source, and have these fair principles. So this is an development here at CENAM. But also we have these kind of developments, the THB, the thermohygrobarometer, that was made from a project of CIM, and how we inside of our NMI, we continue developing these THBs. And now we have more and more THBs being used in our laboratories. We want to make more, but right now we prefer to update this development to have the best digital transformation, like improvements inside of this. I'm going to show you what kind of improvements. For example, we have developed a software in order to manage this kind of THBs that we produce here at CENAM by hand, from scratch. And how to manage the different information that we have from this device. Also, how to use the DCC in order to correct the data values. We can upload the DCC, and this software corrects the values for the metrology laboratory. And also how to enable for sensor networks, how to enable MQTT to share the information online, right? So you can see from the strategy of digital transformation, we have been done so many steps: develop software, develop hardware, to have this THB, to collaborate around the world with SIM region, for example, to enable new services, new capabilities, and these new capabilities sensor networks. So that's why I was describing the first steps, and now you can see that I'm going to talk about sensor networks, right? So now in this point we have software and hardware, and we know that we have the knowledge of how to continue multiplying this kind of hardware THBs, to have a lot of THBs in different laboratories and enable a network, right? And we can see every sensor online, and maybe we can take advantage of that information online. So right now, at this point, we are going to talk about sensor networks. But these two projects are very important for us. The pilot metrology cloud with THB IoT sensor network for the SIM region was a project developed with different NMIs. I saw that here at this presentation, one of the colleagues that enabled the platform, the web platform. I'm very happy to see you here. But also we are working right now in Be Smart technological innovation applied to the monitoring of key pollinators in sustainable food production. This is a very interesting project, and I'm going to show you very, very quickly because I am running out. But so you saw in my presentation that we began this effort. We have THBs, we have the collaboration with SIM, and we developed this kind of sensor networks. It was very challenging because we talk about how to we talk how to prepare a proper frame with a digital I'm going to say it, digital SI. Yeah, I know that maybe It's a little bit tricky, that word, but we were concerned that we need to put the name of the quantity, the value of the quantity, and the units of the quantity. How we are going to identify the National Meteorology Institute, because this project was in same region. So we have one in Colombia, we have one in Costa Rica, we have one on Argentina, and so on. So we thought about the raw number to identify the NMI. We thought how to name the device. We thought about how to put different quantities and their values and the units, right? Everyone with the different time is time. Sorry, I am seeing that here is the same value, but there are different values, right? For humidity and pressure. This is only how we put the frame. We agree with different NMIs to put it in that way. And this is how we can not only interact with our developments, we can use commercial device. We develop an app in order to connect to send information the same way that the pilot meteorological cloud are going to manage the data. We send the data with we can do it in different ways, on Wi-Fi, MQTT, or from a computer. We send information to the NMI that is the central point of the data, and then how to send it to the SIM and then to the digital platform to have access to different kind of quantities. So I'm going to go faster. The architecture of this is the processing layer, the IoT layer, how to have the ingestion of the layer, the services layer, and the storage layer. We have identified the different components of this sensor network. This work was done with our colleagues Handshake, and how they present us the different layers here. How we have the sensor with SI, how the edge layer with the IoT gateway, the DCC digital certification, calibration certification, the local validation, the AS cloud with the ingestion layers, and here you can see the different levels of how we manage the data and how we send it to the final chain, that is the BIPM Digital, National Meteorology Institutes, and APIC lines, how they are going to have access with this information. And the interoperability framework was a robust security, MQTT protocol, JSON structures. We use JSON to communicate with the THVs, and a framework that we developed in order to send information, the comprehensive management, and REST API. For the security, we have data logs, integration validation, VPN gateways, authentication, certificate implementation, communication on encryption, and MQTT access control. And if you can see, this is a summary of how we implement the IoT physical infrastructure that is data center with climate control, UPS, and backup system, including high availability servers and redundant network. Right now, the servers was a very interesting thing that we developed here with our colleagues, Jorge. The base hardware, the core software, databases, technical team, and support. Every of these components was very interesting and very important to develop the sensor network. And maybe you saw this, but for example, Jorge is here, Jorge Alexander. But at the end, this sensor network was enabled, and we can send information through web services in order to share the measurements. This is a picture of the test that we perform with different countries. You can see Argentina, Colombia, Costa Rica, Ecuador, Mexico, and Peru. Well, this is the video, but I'm going to go further. And this is the right now CENAM is working sensor networks with this project. Technological innovation applied to the monitoring of key pollinators in sustainable food production. We want to manage the bees. Now you can see here is a RFID implementation to the bees. We are able, taking care about how to produce the tags to identify every bee. Maybe some of them, not everyone, but some of them. And now we have flexible tags. We are changing from RFID to tags to have a small tags in order to implement a camera and identify with this tag, small tag, flexible tag in their bags to identify them. This is for the managed control of the population of the bees, and we are going to have this vision by cameras to know how they are working, how they are having this how they are living, right? How they are entering and going out from their house right now. And we have CENAM is working in that part very hard in how to manage the different kind of quantities that we are measuring in that place. For example, sound vibration, internal temperature, brood temperature, acceleration, weight, for internal variables. In this, we are going to have databases to manage all of this information. We are using Raspberry Pi, for example, to communicate with ESP32 and with all of those different quantities. And then we have external variables like ambient light, temperature, relative humidity, wind speed, wind direction, and rainfall. And all of these quantities are being measured, and we are going to validate this hardware that we are developing in our laboratories. Then we are going to have the gateway in order to send information to our primary centralization database to manage and to apply with the databases, verified databases with methodological assurance, and how to use AI to manage this information and to have this correlation with different variables. At the end, what we want that know if some pesticides or some chemicals are going to affect these bees, and how to predict and how to avoid that they were damaged with this kind of chemicals in the ground. So right now we are working on that on field, and this is a very nice work because we have some challenges there, and we want to show you maybe in the next meeting how the result that we have. Right now our simulations give us a very good approximation of how these pesticides affect to the bees, but we want to add this data validated by calibration in our laboratories to see if we can validate the simulation with the real life, right, of the bees. So thank you very much for your time, for your attention. If you have some comment, please come with me or my colleagues. You can go to the. I'm going to go to that slide. Yeah, you can take picture of this QR, and you can have access to the digital transformation strategy to contact us if you are interested to join in some effort or some activity. Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure.